a sharp-dressed president, isn't he?
Yeah.
You know, I have to say, before we talk Madam Secretary and election and presidency and all that, I am an obsessed fan of the show Fargo, and the first season of it was so brilliant. But I believe I'm one of only like 8 people who has this story. We were in Italy celebrating with my friends my anniversary, and I rent this little house so I can cook on vacation. We're cooking, and it's the most beautiful vista in the world, right? 360 views of Tuscany. We put on Fargo, and we loved it so much. All of us watched the entire season in one sitting.
It's a fantastic show. Noah Hawley, who created that, he's a mad genius. He somehow channeled the Coen brothers to the point where they looked at what he'd written and they said, okay, we'll put our name on this.
It's amazing.
I mean, he had that down, and it's extraordinary writing, and I can see sitting and watching the whole thing.
It was fabulous.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, geeky fan of yours. And I'm a huge fan of Madam Secretary because I love Taya, I love the whole cast. Wonderful, talented actors. But, of course, this has been a really tough real-life election year, and it's been so grueling, and, you know, the country seems so divided. I just can't imagine who is going to run for president next, because who would want to after this slaughterhouse? In real life, did you ever think about politics or, you know?
Only in my worst nightmares.
Right?
No, it's not something I would ever choose to do. No.
It's tough to even play one on TV, right?
You know, we have our challenges on the show, especially, I mean, it's extraordinary what we do on the show in that Barbara Hall, who created this, manages to tap into the sort of political zeitgeist in a way that the show reflects reality without being reality.
That's right.
It's a fictional world that we've created, and yet real events are reflected in the show. It's kind of remarkable what they do.
It is a wonderful reflection of art and real life.
Yeah.
You know, the show, another reason I'm a fan of it is that it's executive produced by one of our favorite people who's done so much for us here at our show, Morgan Freeman.
Yeah.
Oh, the most wonderful human. I want to know, he's so soft and loving and lovely. Does he kind of suck as a director because he's too nice?
Let me just say that Morgan directed the premiere episode last year and directed the premiere episode again this year, in which I had a lot to do. Yeah. He's one of the best directors with whom I've ever worked.
Wow.
He's phenomenal.
Is he like an actor's director, like a Sidney Lumet?
He's definitely an actor's director in that he's such a wonderful actor himself. So he adds layer upon layer to what you're doing because he gets the process. I felt enhanced by everything that he told me, and having him there with us for those 8 days of shooting, it was a real treat.
Isn't it great?
Yeah.
Oh. So I also love your wildly talented daughter, Martha Plimpton, who's another one of our favorite guests here. She's so cool. And I was just watching the movie Parenthood for like the 5,000th time the other day, and I'm like, oh my God, they're so great. You know,
she is off the charts. Brilliant. My daughter is, I stand in awe of her. I do. And I finally, you know, a couple of years ago was the last season of Raising Hope, and Martha finally said, hey, Dad, come do the show. I've been waiting 40 years for the chance to work with my daughter. She finally invited. We had the best time, and as I knew would happen, I spent 7 to 8 days working with her on that show, and she taught me every day.
Everything, right?
Every day.
She's so wildly creative.
Amazing.
She's so cool.
Amazing.
How do you guys roll for the holidays? You know, do you go out? Do you cook? Who does the heavy lifting?
I cook.
Do you have any specialties, or you like to take it on?
You know what? A couple of years ago, a few years back, 5 or 8, I do everything from scratch. And I brined a turkey, and I'd never done that.
I'm a big briner.
It was amazing.
Dude, I'm gonna hook you up. My brine, I'm telling you, cider, bourbon, brine rules.
And I make a mean pecan pie.
Nice. All right, you send me your pie recipe. I'll give you my brine recipe.
Okay, deal.
Deal. Pinky swear.